My name is Patrick Horgan and I'm going to be going through the unit Optimize IT System Performance. I'm going to start this one with taking appropriate steps to protect my computer hardware from loss or damage. Now, this particular section is more based on what I've done to the PC and rather what I will do. To minimise the risk of damage to this particular laptop, I've replaced the standard SATA hard drive with a SATA SSD, a solid state drive, which removes any moving components from the drive, make it a more efficient, fast and stable way to store my data. It also means by eliminating the moving component, there's much less of a probability of it going wrong, which in itself makes it a lot more secure. Other things that I've done to this laptop to prevent it from damage is I have actually upgraded most of the internal components, including the a few of the fans were faulty. I've replaced those, as well as the RAM, with a brand new and more efficient models. So there are some of the things that you can do to prevent it from damage. To prevent from losing hardware, you can get tracking chips that can be installed into laptops such as this one. I haven't actually got one in this. However, all you do is purchase the chip, install it inside and attach it to the power supply, and that will track it using a small GPS chip, even when the laptop's not turned on. So if you do lose your laptop, you can always find it again. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is configure some antivirus and other security software. So what I'm going to do for that is I'm actually going to install something called Super Anti-Spyware. Well, it sounds like a bit of malware itself. It's actually a legitimate tool for protecting your PC. So what I'll do is get the free edition. Now, most security software is fairly similar in the way it's installed. It goes through the same things. It's mostly user-friendly, next scenario. But I'll go through it anyway. Just waiting for that to download. While that's downloading, I'll just quickly go through some of the other bits of security software I've already gotten here. So I'm currently running as my main antivirus AVG-free 2014. So that's updated pretty much daily. Comes with the free firewall. It's good for general support. Two other things I use are Spybot Search and Destroy 2, which is a great thing for stopping files infiltrating your system and preventing infection and loss of data. It also keeps your system files up to date and removes any that are now redundant or not used. Something else that does a similar thing is called CC Cleaner. This will also look at your registry, but slightly deeper than Spybot. What that will do is optimize your performance and allow you to clean any files that have managed to get onto the PC. All of those programs are actually free, and they're installed in a similar amount to this. So double click the installer, select run. Do I want to allow the following program to make changes to this computer? Yes, I want to install it. Okay, welcome to the Super Anti-Spyware Free Edition installation wizard. So I recommend that I exit all Windows programs. I'm not actually going to do that because I've got other things running at the moment. However, I will click to the next stage. Okay, so license terms, yes, I agree. I want to allow it for all users. I would like it to be installed in C program files and then in super anti-spyware folder. Okay, so that's almost it. We can do language. Does it have a UK? No, it doesn't. Okay, so yeah, I want it in English. And that is it. All these checks. I want to check for recent definitions, database updates, enable automatic updates, and submit a system diagnostic to help identify potential harmful software. Perfect. I want all of those. So click next and finish. And that is it, actually. The program's now installed. Yeah, let's not troll. Why not? Okay. Let's just open that up. And there we go. So that's now running on my PC, protecting me from malware. Okay. So we scan the PC, see if it actually comes up with anything. In the meantime, I am going to go through a few other things that I do on this PC. I'll go through folders and how they're used to organise my work. Okay, for instance, to create a folder, you right click in some white space and go to New and select Folder. This will then give you the option to rename the folder to whatever you wish. So for the moment I'm going to name this folder Items to Sort. In there I'm going to put all of the spare documents that are just sitting in my documents folder. Okay, I'll put some in there just to tidy up my thing. It's a lot easier to see what I've actually got on my folder. So these two files are actually still open, so if I close those quickly and close the other one, I should now be able to move those into the folder as well. There we go. Now I want to make another folder, just for another example. Old items. Okay, in this folder I'm basically going to put everything that I don't use anymore. So all of the things that I've made for temporary fix or something I was working on at some point, I'm just going to put in there. Okay, and this is an example how you can tidy up your files on the PC and keep them organised. So now I know exactly where all my things are. All the loose files that I had in here are now in Items to Sort. All files relating to my business are in the business folder, which are also actually fairly well organised. And any old items I don't really want to delete, I've put in the old items folder. So that's perfect. Okay, while we're on the subject of data, I'd just like to go through a few of the differences between normal data and system data. Now, system data is basically what makes the operating system work. Most of these files are located in Windows, so I'm just going to show you an example of some of those files. If I go to any of these really, boot, font. Okay, so a true type font file. That's a file, if I double click this for instance, this is just a random file that the PC uses to configure itself when it starts up. They don't actually do much if you run them. In fact, most of the files you can't actually open. So if we go DVD for instance, here we've got a .SDI file. So that's a file that helps with booting DVDs and running the CD drive. So it's all that kind of thing. They're system files. Then something that for a human you can't actually understand them, but they're what make machines work. Now, user files are anything basically that we can use. So installation files are a bit of both. We can't actually read them properly unless you know how to program, but we still run them. So they're classified usually as a user file. That and they're not essential for the operating system. There's also things like Word files, PDFs, and folders. They're all examples of files that we will use. Okay, so why is it important to keep your files organised? Well, I might not be the best example looking at my downloads, but keeping your items organised is very important in maintaining a steady and constant health with your machine. This is because, for instance, if you have had the same laptop for 3 years, that's 3 years worth of data just piling up around the PC. Eventually you'll get to the point where you won't be able to actually find the items. Not to mention, if you store too many items in one folder, those items can actually become corrupted with each use. Now, corrupted files can really damage the PC's software and affect system files, especially once you open like Word and PowerPoint files. These kind of files can become corrupted very easily and can affect the system in very large ways. Okay. So, the next point I want to go on to is backups. Now, on Windows you actually have a built-in backup called Windows Backup. Windows 8 I'm not too sure about, I think they took out that feature. But for Windows 7, it's still here. So if we go to search, backup, there we go, backup and restore. Well, if we have a quick look at schedule, okay, so as you can see here, I've actually backed up this PC a little while ago, so last backup was on 10th to the 12th, a little while ago now. What that was when I had finished building the PC, that was the first backup I did, so that's a fresh install of everything. So if anything goes wrong with this PC up to that point, I can restore that backup and have all the programs and key features still here that I need. All my files are backed up manually, so backing up does not have to be done automatically using the program, such as that. You can literally copy and paste your files onto any kind of file sharing application or website. You can also do it directly to a hard drive or memory stick. Okay, so that is most of the things you need to do to optimize your system's performance. Like I said, registry edits are one of the key features, and I'll just go through quickly how to do that using CCleaner. As mentioned earlier, this does two things. So it will clean files. So if I analyze my PC now, it will find all of the files that are no longer used, or temporary files that have been created by the system to make programs temporarily work. When that's finished running, it will give me the option to run the cleaner, which will delete all of those files and speed up the PC slightly. When the system goes to search through like temporary files, for instance, it will have to search through all of those other programs. Obviously, you don't really want it to do that, so I'll run the cleaner. There we go, and that will now delete all of those files, sparing up space and speeding up the system. Now we're going to go to the registry when that's finished going through. Okay, so it's a very similar thing. You scan for the issues, and that will take a little while, and fix selected. Now the registry is basically like the brain of the operating system. It will tell everything how to work. Unlike a normal brain though, if some bits are missing, it will still struggle on, even if there's invalid or empty things, unless it's something that's crucial to system running. For instance, I'm missing some ActiveX and shared DLLs for Microsoft Framework. They're not essential for the operating system, so that doesn't affect me really in any way. So what I'll do is cancel that for the moment. At some later date, when I've got more time, I will go back and fix them. Okay.